It's like the banana zone is a period of time and a price action that is nuanced because it goes in bursts and then correction. Altcoin season is starting. Bitcoin dominance should fall. ETH should rise against Bitcoin. And again, I'm kind of not worried. And I think that would be the most hilarious outcome in all of crypto, that Doge ends up being the hardest money ever created.
Is Bitcoin really at the top, or is this just the beginning? Raoul Pal explains how market panic is misplaced. Bitcoin isn't even close to being overvalued. In fact, key indicators suggest we're about to enter the strongest part of the cycle. But what about altcoins? And what's next for liquidity? Stay tuned, because this changes everything.
So that tells me dips are for buying. The cycle top, again, all the fucking noise on X. The cycle top is the top. It isn't topped early. Oh my God, it's the worst. I'm so scared. We're nowhere near. The core risk indicator, are we overbought? No, nowhere near. Let's have a look at it versus the 2017 cycle. Are we near the top? No, we're fucking near. Are we going to follow this exactly? No. Are we going to do decently based on this? I think so. I think it's going to rhyme more than people expect, and we will have a stronger cycle than people expect. The Nasdaq, for those of you who still bother to trade equities, which I know some of you did, is following the same pattern. It's all like a rerun of the previous Trump, because he's got the same policies, basically, apart from with the new tech stimulus. You guys all have PTSD from the last cycle. It finished early. Is it going to happen again? Am I going to lose my money? Am I going to round trip all my gains? Will I die? Will I have to drink Bud Light for the rest of my life? Or can I drink champagne? All of these stories. Blah, 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 blah. The orange zone, market goes higher, right? But it didn't really in 2021. Well, what happened in 2021? Oh, the ISM peaked. Oh yes, the ISM peaked in March 2021. Previously, it peaked in January, February 2018. Guess what? That's when ETH peaked. Also 2013. It works every time. And where are we now? Oh, we're at the bottom of the ISM. Oh, how silly of me to be worried about the market peaking. For fuck's sake, people. From the halving, we've only done from the halving or from the low, we've only done an 8x from the low. We did an 85x and a 46x. We only started. Liquidity, as I said, peaked in March 2021. We're now negative currently by this measure of liquidity. If I use the global M2, we're just positive, but we're nowhere near there to be a liquidity peak. As we said, the ISM peaked March 2021. So let's look at it. That was what was happening in March 2021. Look at that. Financial conditions were falling, and the ISM, well, it had peaked at over 60. And let's look at the current one now. You ready, kids? The opposite. It's bottoming, and the green financial conditions index will be going the other way. Everyone's like, where's my banana zone? It's failed. It's like the banana zone is a period of time and a price action that is nuanced because it goes in bursts and then corrections. So the banana zone started from September onwards last year. The market came up and did what it did every single time. The correction after banana zone phase 1. So correction phase. Then banana zone phase 2 kicks in and it goes fucking la. It goes bananas. Then guess what? Correction phase 2 fits in. And then we go to the final blow off top. And you've got to be embarrassed. You've got to be embarrassed from all of your complaining when you look at that chart. And look at how small that squiggle is for the correction phase. You've got to be embarrassed. Oh, no, I forgot. You bought AI tokens and they've gone down 90%. I did try to tell you. I gave you the don't fuck this up thesis. If you could follow it, don't use leverage, generally have 90% of your portfolio in the top 5 cryptocurrencies of your choice, you're generally fine. Don't FOMO, don't do stupid shit, don't get hacked, store your stuff carefully, and you'll be fine. But no, most people didn't.
Raoul Pal breaks down why the current Bitcoin cycle is far from over. Many investors are scared, thinking the top is already in, but the data says otherwise. Looking at past cycles, Bitcoin is still in its growth phase, and financial conditions are improving, just like in previous bull runs. The market moves in waves, and while corrections are normal, the real parabolic phase is still ahead. Pal also explains the banana zone, where price action accelerates in stages. We've only gone through the first phase, and the next leg up could be massive. But what about altcoins? Could Ethereum and Solana outperform Bitcoin? Stick around, because Raoul shares insights on where the biggest gains will be next.
But there are some charts to love. When you step back and stop all of the noise, there's the Bitcoin chart. It broke out of a wedge. It's been slip sliding down the little slope of that wedge, unwinding its overbought, ready for the phase 2 of the banana zone. ETH, that weekly ETH chart is a killer chart. That's a beautiful pattern. I don't know, you've all given up on ETH. ETH's never going to go up again. It's terrible. It's the worst thing ever. The ETH community and Vitalik save us. Just Shut up. It'll be fine. Will it outperform Solana? No. Will it do very well? I'm sure it will. Generally, I think they've overbuilt block space. That's the basic problem with the layer 2s and crushing of the fees. But once the financial system builds on ETH, I think we'll be fine. So I think the financial system will build on ETH like they use Microsoft. Right? We don't really have a choice. It's the most Lindy, it's the most secure, got the most devs, the most understood. ETH Bitcoin cross. I know I've tried this many times, but I honestly believe that this is either a wedge or a sideways consolidation, and it will be fine. Alt season is generally ETH over Bitcoin. If altcoin season is starting, Bitcoin dominance should fall, ETH should rise against Bitcoin. And again, I'm kind of not worried. Solana versus the US dollar, broke out of the wedge, retest, up, new high, back down, all fine. Bit of a sloppy chart pattern, but in the bigger picture, it's a killer. I mean, look at that. Cup and handle, test the highs, next breakthrough. This will be the move through 1,000. Simple as that. Solana looks beautiful. Solana versus ETH should keep outperforming ETH. So that's the risk curve I've talked about. ETH outperforms Bitcoin. Solana outperforms ETH. And then we go to Sol Bitcoin. That should break higher too. That will be the next leg, which will be alt season. And then we've got SUI, which is the stronger token, earlier, slightly riskier. Deep Book, the liquidity layer to SUI. I've talked about this before. It's been a recommendation. It has done very well. It's like SUI beta, and it looks again like it's forming a wedge. Another beautiful chart. Deep Book versus SUI seems to be doing the same kind of thing. That looks great. Doge, the king of all cryptocurrencies. That chart is killer. These are altcoin seasons. This is the risk curve. Doge is such a beautiful chart every time. And here's the money shot, the greatest chart of all time, and maybe the most hilarious chart of all time. Is that Doge has outperformed Bitcoin by 500% since inception. And if we break from here higher versus Bitcoin, Doge will be the hardest money on the galaxy and Bitcoin will not be. And I think that would be the most hilarious outcome in all of crypto, that Doge ends up being the hardest money ever created. And I'm rooting for that. I'm going to have some Doge. I just think it would be fucking hilarious. Can't believe what the Bitcoin maxis will say when you just say, well, yeah, the Dogecoin standard, that's what it's all about. So if the governments fund themselves via bond markets, and it's supposed to be the main source of collateral and security of the entire system, if it gets too volatile, it means there's generally not enough liquidity, so it moves around too much. So therefore, they need to add liquidity. It's as simple as that. It's one of the greatest hacks, because you've got X amount of dollars to allocate, and you want to get the best allocation. Obviously, there's dependent time in the market and can't work the bear market as it does in the early bull cycle. I'm looking for chart patterns that suggest that one is going to outperform the other, whether it's a break of a channel or an inverse head and shoulders or just along a trend. You want to see that you're putting your capital into the thing that's going to make you the most money, because we're not in this game for anything else. Yes, we believe in the future of Web3. We believe in crypto. We believe in decentralization. What we actually believe in is unfucking our future.
Raoul Pal makes it clear. This cycle isn't over. Bitcoin still has room to run, and altcoins could see an even bigger explosion. But which ones will lead the charge? And how high could prices really go? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit like, and subscribe for more expert insights. Until next time.